would like to now introduce one of the sons of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the person that I knew before he became so important, who's been fighting the good fight in our community for years, who has been an advocate for uh, CAP agencies as well as for our community, looking always to better our community and helping others to understand we are one community. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our Lieutenant Governor, Mandela Barnes. He will present the 23rd Annual Governor's Award for Excellence in Community Action. Lieutenant Governor, welcome.
All right. I'm as soon as I got introduced, somebody was outside with a weed whacker, so I'm not sure if you can hear it. I hope you cannot hear it.
You're good.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for the introduction. I want to thank you all for having me. George, it's really good to see you, albeit virtually, but it's good to see you. And thank you for all the hard work that you do with SDC in Milwaukee. I think about too why these sort of events are so important. I talk a little bit about my time, obviously before elected office, when I was an organizer, prior to being an organizer, but I went to SDC a lot. Whether it was with tax preparation or even getting energy assistance at one point back in 2010. I mean, that's a part of the story that didn't make it to the short form bio, right? Like my times where I was working a job and hours got cut and things just became very uncertain for me. And that meant, no more health insurance. That meant, the money I thought that I had to go from week to week just was cut in half. And that meant, all right, well, I got to buy gas or buy food. It taught me, I had to budget money much differently, but there are resources out there to help people. And sometimes that is quite literally a lifeline. And I think about, had I not had those services available to me, what that could have spelled, what that could have meant. And so that's why I will always be very conscious of the conditions that certain people, that too many people in our communities are dealing with. And I'm forever going to be on the defensive when people attack those in need, when people make life even more hard or even more difficult for those in need. So before I present this year's award, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for your selfless work and your dedication to improve the lives of people all across our state. And we're dealing with some very extraordinary times. And now more than ever, people are struggling to meet basic needs for their families due to the economic and the health impacts of this health crisis that we find ourselves in. And people on this call, your organizations have stepped up, and you've done so without hesitation to help your friends and family members and neighbors who are in need. People have worked diligently to find innovative solutions. You leverage partnerships, and you work tirelessly to ensure that families in Wisconsin can put food on the table, to make sure that they can access affordable, quality health care and money to pay utility bills and so much more. And I am sitting here talking to the unsung heroes within our communities, and Governor Evers and DCF Secretary Emily Amundson, and I cannot thank you enough for all the hard work. And let's take a second just to give a virtual round of applause, if we can, just for everybody and all the hard work. And so to highlight the critical work community actions agencies are performing during this unprecedented time, this year's award has been changed slightly to focus on an outstanding program or project that specifically exemplifies the spirit of community action, especially right now during COVID-19. I would like to thank all the agencies who took time to nominate their program, and the innovative work that you all are doing makes a tangible difference in the lives of the people that you serve. And it's very obvious that you are extremely proud of the great efforts being made by your team, and you absolutely should be proud of those efforts. And as many of you know, the Award for Excellence in Community Action is chosen by a joint committee of the Governor's Office and Department of Children and Family staff. And as usual, the committee had a difficult time in choosing only one winner. It is not an easy task, and it never is, because there were several outstanding nominations again this year. But without further ado, it is my privilege to announce that this year's Governor's Award for Excellence in Community Action goes to Couleecap Inc. for their COVID-19 response plan. Action is our middle name. Couleecap Inc., who serves Crawford, La Crosse, Monroe, and Vernon counties, launched their response plan in early March. You all were out in front of the federal government. Anyway, Couleecap, who serves La Crosse, Monroe, Vernon counties, with the three principles, and that's to quickly mobilize resources to respond to sudden, unexpected unemployment and business closure, to distribute those resources broadly across the community and to make accessing them as barrier-free as possible. And lastly, to invest additional resources and efforts in a targeted program serving the most vulnerable populations. And keeping these three principles in mind, Couleecap collaborated with private, nonprofit, faith-based, and government entities to leverage resources and to establish multiple programs to meet the needs of their community as this pandemic evolved. And when the governor enacted a safer home order to limit the spread of COVID-19, we saw Couleecap quickly implement a COVID-19 emergency assistance program to be able to provide a bill pay safety net to help people who were suddenly unemployed or people who had their work hours reduced. And the liberal eligibility requirement, 250% of the federal poverty rate, it enabled Couleecap to provide broad assistance to low and moderate income workers who may have already been living on the edge with no savings. And however, Couleecap quickly noticed that it wasn't just low and moderate income households that needed assistance. It was also realized that rural healthcare and small businesses were taking a hit as well. And with help from local donors and physicians, Couleecap built the Vernon County Healthcare Fund to provide aid to rural healthcare workers. And they were also able to establish a COVID-19 small business relief program that provided funding, technical assistance, and online learning resources as well. And through this program, they were able to execute loans at 0% interest and deferred payments in Crawford, Monroe, and Vernon counties. And additionally, working closely with the City of La Crosse Planning Department, they were able to fund low-income and minority-owned businesses that would have otherwise been denied through a city grant program due to a lack of funds. And in addition to financial assistance programs, Couleecap was also busy expanding food pantry services to address growing food insecurities. They expanded to 5 days a week for curbside pickup and also established a new home delivery program to assist those who were in high-risk categories and those who were unable to leave their homes. And additional partnerships allowed them to expand their program and include hot meal deliveries and other amenities designed to meet the basic needs and prevent feelings of isolation that so many people had developed. And lastly, Couleecap worked to support immigrant families who were unemployed. But unlike their neighbors, didn't have access to state and federal unemployment benefits. And Couleecap was able to partner with an English as a second language personnel at the Sparta and Norwalk, Ontario school districts and the Coulee Region Immigration Task Force to be able to connect with those families who were in need. They raised money to help with monthly bills for immigrant families and coordinated a region-wide community donation drive where they were able to collect clothes, shoes, diapers, baby wipes, hygiene products, and so much more to help over 100 immigrant households. So just to recap quickly, all this hard and amazing work in total, Couleecap's response programs have delivered over $220,000 in bill pay assistance to nearly 400 households in the counties that they serve. And we're also able to provide $50,000 in unemployment assistance to 53 immigrant family households, and also paid over $40,000 to rural healthcare workers, and also allocated nearly $155,000 to 43 businesses throughout the Coulee region. And while to many, this may seem like a lot of programs and services they've already established, Couleecap continues to look for innovative ways to meet the challenges presented by COVID-19. They are currently co-leading an initiative with the La Crosse County Treasurer's Office to develop an early tax delinquency intervention program for homeowners who may be unable to pay property taxes because of COVID-19 unemployment. And through Couleecap's quick and innovative response to COVID-19, Wisconsinites can continue to meet the basic needs of their families and remain out of poverty. And so on behalf of myself, the governor, our Department of Children and Family Secretary, Emily Amison. I'm so honored to present this award to Couleecap, Inc.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Barnes. We really, really appreciate you participating in this event and for this incredible honor on behalf of the governor's office. You know, this pandemic has impacted every single aspect of our lives and every single aspect of our clients' lives and every single aspect of our community. And so when we were putting together our COVID-19 response effort at Couleecap, we knew that it wouldn't be just one program or one service that was going to be needed. We knew that we had to create a broad range of services, a broad range of programs, and reach far and wide across our community. So this is a tremendous honor, and the team here has worked very, very hard. As you mentioned so eloquently, so many of our programs were informed by our community, by our employees. Sometimes we knew in advance that those needs would exist, and sometimes those needs bubbled up as we were helping people. We learned that there were more needs, and so we just started to reach out and develop those services like the bill pay assistance programs to help people bridge the gap till they got their unemployment check, or to help businesses pay their rent until their doors could reopen, or they could get other benefits. You mentioned the meal delivery program, and we had several aspects of that program helping people who were formerly homeless receive hot meals so that they did not feel isolated, to helping deliver meals to people who normally would have visited our food pantries, but now we're being told that because of their medical conditions, it was unsafe for them to leave their homes. And then, of course, you mentioned our efforts with to help the immigrant population. We have so many immigrant families working here. They're crucial to our workforce and extremely important within our community as community members. But unlike you and me, they don't have the same benefits or access to safety net programs that we enjoy during a crisis. And so we really worked hard to try to help them pay bills and access other resources. And this is really what community action looks like. We as a community action network are built to be flexible and nimble and responsive. We are trusted in our communities. We are on the ground, and most importantly, we are seen as neighbors, as friends, as families. We are neighbors helping our neighbors. And we were designed to be this way 56 years ago as the War on Poverty was launched. And today, our network of over 1,000 community action agencies across the country are extremely effective in this work. And we're just honored at Couleecap to be able to represent our network in this way. But before action is community. And community is the center of our work, and the fact that we center the community in our work is a hallmark of the community action movement. We really serve in a lot of ways as a strategic coordinator of community resources, and this COVID-19 response was no different. First, I mentioned our employees earlier. I have to give a huge shout out to Couleecap employees. I am so amazed and in awe of their efforts over the past several months. When other agencies in our community were scaling back, we were scaling up. When others were, or when our community was paralyzed, our team flew into action. When our clients needed us, our team was there. And I never heard one complaint. Everybody pitched in. People worked in a number of ways. They came with innovative ideas, and our team has just really been amazing. Our board of directors is also amazing. They are the most engaged, supportive, visionary group, and this response was no different. But most importantly, our board shows tremendous trust in our team that enables us to be flexible. I want to recognize our state partners, state agency partners working at state agencies, and I emphasize the word partner because state agencies have been true partners to us through this. They have helped us. They've been in. I'm on phone calls almost every day with state agencies, them asking what they can do to help us, and their flexibility has enabled us to stay focused on what we need to focus on. our donors also enabled this work. We pride ourselves on our long-standing relationships that we have with donors. And when we made those phone calls to say we needed help, they didn't hesitate. I had money within hours in my hands to be able to respond and set up these programs. So we have to give a huge applause to our donors in the community. And then our local lawmakers, our media partners, and other nonprofit agencies that came together with us and rallied with us to do this. So this wasn't just Couleecap, this was a true community effort, and it was the community in action. Before I wrap up, I do want to also thank WISCAP. Brad Paul and his entire team at WISCAP have been phenomenal through the COVID-19 effort, but also in their ability to open doors for the Community Action Network in Wisconsin. And while we're really busy on the ground doing this work, WISCAP team is working at the state level to bring resources to us, but also create structural changes that will ever shape how we can operate better moving forward. And then finally, I want to thank Governor Tony Evers and Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes for your leadership through this pandemic, your support of the Community Action Network, and for this great honor. Thank you so much.